It's March 11th, 2010, and we're in here in one of the lower portions of the Sierra Nevada on the southern end, looking for ladybugs. Unfortunately, it's still got an awful lot of snow on the ground, even for as warm an area as this is, and it's one of my warmest locations. Gets a lot of early sun all day long. Usually these ladybugs have long since flown away about the first week of January, but the persistent snow and cold has kept them here all winter. This will be the latest I've ever seen ladybugs here, which should also mean that ladybugs will be awfully hard to find in early June because we probably won't get that high heat we need to flush them out of the valleys again. So I've got some time to kill, and here's a few things you have to go through in order to find ladybugs. Obviously, walking through this meadow, there's not a lot of indication there'd be any ladybugs here, but you just have to know what you're looking for, and you never really know exactly when you'll stumble across, but it requires a lot of patience. For instance, just right up here in this cedar tree branch, there's a little little grouping of ladybugs clustered in here. If there's that many bugs on a tree this time of year, then down below there's going to be many more. Go down to this tree trunk and begin to see them wedged into the bark. There's a few here and there, and then off to this little shrub right here. Here they are back up in the crotch of this cedar tree branch. These guys will be the first to fly away when the warmth really kicks in. That little bit there means there's hundreds of thousands or millions down on the floor underneath the snow. Here's a little guy warming up, maybe looking for some early mites or thrip, maybe any of the little pests that might be on this shrub. Get a meal and warm up for the day. As the snow melts off in little patches, the ladybugs begin to crawl out from the damp forest duff, which can have cedar foliage, pine needles, oak leaves, bay leaves, depending on how high or how far up you are. And they start gathering up on fallen branches like this fallen cedar branch here. A couple thousand ladybugs by the time they're all knocked off on here. You can see the snow melting and they're beginning to crawl out from underneath the snow here. You know, underneath this snow and this branch could be a gallon of ladybugs. And there's about 72,000 in a gallon. People say, well, how do you know you put 1,500 in my bag when you get a big bag of 1,500? Well, it's 1/3 of a cup. It has about 1,500 to 1,600 ladybugs. And more snow melting and them gathering on the base of this little scrub oak. And the same thing starts occurring with the granite boulders in ladybug country. Here's a little cluster of bugs gathering up on this newly sprouting out grasses here. Yeah, it's amazing how many, when you start moving around, ladybugs are in a little area like this. And again, coming out from the pine needles here in the forest duff, gathering up on this granite boulder, getting some sun. The air temperature is still much too cold for most of these bugs to fly away. They might start buzzing around, but as the sun moves behind some of these trees, they'll wind up settling down somewhere else. About 68, 70 degrees this time of year with full sun. they'll start getting hyperactive and want to leave and go back down low elevations, start finding lots of aphids on the weeds down below, the alfalfa fields, oat and wheat fields, people's gardens. You see them getting busy here since they've been moved around. So those are just some of the clues that it takes to go ladybug harvesting. Of course, you have to find those clues within, so to speak, hundreds if not thousands of acres and many, many creeks and canyons. And you'll find a bed of 5 gallons, you might find a bed of 50 to 100 gallons. The most I ever heard anybody find, and I believe him because he's a pretty honest guy, and he found about 240 gallons. Took him about 2.5 days, 3 days, he said, to harvest it, clean them up, and get them ready for packaging. So enjoy your ladybugs on your roses and your fruit trees. Really, you can't get them out soon enough. As soon as those plants are popping new buds, that's when you need to get your ladybugs on there. And they'll last for months if you do it that way. They'll lay eggs after eggs after eggs and turn into ladybug babies and larvae and adult ladybugs, and you'll be very, very cleaned up for the season. Thank you.